All right, guys, I think we're just about getting set up here, getting the technical details sorted out. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Likewise, sir.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.
I threw on the sport coat today for this.
Look at you. Looking spiffy, man.
I
I like it.
I like the matching backgrounds. This is great. We'll give folks another 30 seconds or so to jump on, and then we'll kick off. Should be a good one here.
I'm excited. We've been working on this for some time, so finally glad we made it to the point here. We made it to this point.
We have. And you did one not too long ago, so you're the master here. You've done a bunch.
Master's a very, very overstatement there, but I dipped my toes in the water before. I'm all right.
They'll have one pro here, right? All right, I think we'll officially kick off. Of course, this is being recorded, so anybody that jumps in late or can't make it, we can share the recording and get in touch with everybody. But we appreciate everybody's time today. Glad you were able to hop on here. You're going to hear from a few experts, not just on prior authorization, which is today's topic, but of course, automation and AI. That is our focus and has been our focus for the last 8 or 9 years or so. Today's topic is very timely, I would say. I just yesterday saw some national news about prior authorization and a big push to have insurance companies try to cut some of the red tape to make this whole thing a lot easier on providers, not just providers, but also that trickle-down effect, where ultimately it does affect the patient. And sometimes we're the patient, sometimes it's a family member, sometimes it's colleagues. So this is something that we can all very much relate to in many different ways from top to bottom. So today, again, thank you for your time. We're going to be talking about the prior authorization process, the challenges that provider organizations face, whether they're large hospital systems or small practices. What are those challenges? What is the opportunity here for technology? And then, of course, the technology that everybody's talking about these days, which is agents or agentic AI. Can't seem to jump on a webinar or see something on LinkedIn or even a commercial where that product or that service has an agent, right? So it's really been a top topic these last several months. And we're going to dive into that, on how we leverage agents throughout processes like this, how we do that in a very pragmatic, logical way to really continue to dial in on operational efficiency for our customers that are out there in the healthcare provider space. So by way of introduction, let me slip to this slide here. My name is Cletus Kilker. My title is Sales Director. I've been here at Accelirate for about 6 years. It's been a great journey so far. Feels like I just got here, that's a good sign. We're always up to something new, staying ahead of leading technology and helping our customers with their automation and AI initiatives. And joining me, I have a couple of experts. Jonathan, I'll pass it to you. Give yourself a nice introduction. And then Nathaniel, we also call him Nat. He'll introduce himself as well. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hey everyone, Jonathan Leon. I'm a senior solution process architect for the healthcare division here at Accelirate. I've been with the organization for 2 years now, and I'm kind of like the boots on the ground. So once we've established that relationship with the client, I'm the one that really kind of does an introduction with the leaders of different areas, and then kind of guide them through the journey of understanding the workflows and making sure that we have it all documented well and understood. Prior to joining Accelerate, my background really is in healthcare IT. So I have 20 years of experience there from the IT standpoint, but supporting revenue cycle departments. So throughout my time, I've gotten to really understand the types of systems and the way the processes take place within those operation teams, anywhere from like scheduling, registration to charging, HIM, coding, billing. So I've got a good understanding of what goes on within the revenue cycle space, and I'm just excited to bring my knowledge here to this organization so that we can take healthcare to the next level. Nat, on to you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathaniel Lisco. I have been working as an RPA business analyst for 4 years now, with 1.5 years of experience with RPA in healthcare. And during that time, I have deployed automation processes in various areas such as RCM, population health, and clinical applications, just to name a few.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I will touch a little bit more on who Accelirate is towards the end. In short, automation and AI has been our focus for these last 8-9 years, as I mentioned. When I started, we were about 100 employees. We've been fortunate to have a lot of great customers, a lot of very well-known customers across the US. And now we're at about 550 employees, all automation and AI specialists. And I'll get a little bit more into that towards the end, but we want to really dial into the opportunity that we see around prior authorization and some of the work that we're doing. So if you're on this call, you probably have a really good idea of what some of those challenges are around this particular process. A lot of them are listed here on the screen. As mentioned earlier, this is a challenge that just about every single provider faces. It causes a lot of additional administrative type work, follow-up type work, extra burden on staff. And it's a really big opportunity, as you can see. It's in the billions. That's industry-wide, of course, for each individual provider. That number is still pretty high. And any sort of uplift that we can get throughout this process is very impactful. You can see also healthcare costs really kind of uptick quite a bit around the administrative piece of these challenges. And that trickles down, as I mentioned already, treatment delays, denials, ultimately impacting patients, perhaps pushing out procedures or appointments or other things of that nature. So it's a really big opportunity. And then on the right here, we see the case for intelligent automation. Really, what is the impact that technology implemented the right way can have on a process like this and ultimately the organization? You can see time to submission drastically can be reduced. Denial rates can drastically go down, which impacts revenue directly. Manual touch points drastically go down, just lessening the burden on staff, which is always a really good thing. And many other benefits that you can see by applying the right technology to a process like this and solve some of these problems. Jonathan and myself were on a lot of calls with customers and prospects. We talk about the whole RCM operation, and I would say the number one trend or the top pain point tends to be prior authorization. It's a real pain point. Jonathan, do you want to add anything there, since I know you're talking to a lot of customers and folks out there in the industry as well?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of what you're showing here. There's a lot of resources dedicated to this because organizations do understand the importance of prior auth. It is the very beginning of the revenue cycle. Without that, it's a downstream of issues that need to be resolved, additional rework just to make sure that the healthcare system is going to be able to recover those that revenue. And then they want to give the patient the appropriate satisfaction. I mean, ultimately, this is all about patient care. Our organizations want to give the patient that great experience. So with this being a seamless and smoother transaction or process, so to say, it'll be a lot less work on the operational side. It'll be a great patient experience. So a win-win for all. So definitely with what we're going to showcase today, we're hoping to let organizations know that there is a solution out there that can really assist and just kind of streamline the way work is being done today.
Well said. Thank you. Moving on, I touched on a lot of this here, right? If you're on this call, you understand these challenges already. Here's a little more, a few additional insights and data points. I like to focus here on the automation value. Of course, as you automate any sort of manual, repetitive type work, even getting into some more of the subjective decision-making type work, the value of automation is huge, right? You see it here on the screen: reduce denial rates and approval time, reduce days to care, increase patient throughput, and then reduce labor costs and improve that employee, that staff experience, take some of that mundane, problematic type work off their plate so that they can focus on higher value, closer to patient care type work that we want our folks and our staff working on. So the automation value potential is really great across RC in general, but specifically prior authorization. And we'll dive more into that looks like from a solution standpoint. So what exactly are we talking about here from a technology standpoint? We have this slide from friends at UiPath. They've been a great partner of ours for the last 8-9 years. Day one, we're a diamond partner with them, which I can touch more on that at a later time, but really close knit with their product platform and their roadmap. And we're really excited about their agentic automation and the platform itself. Super pumped to be working with them consistently. The breakdown here, we try to keep things simple. We have robots, we have agents. Robots are really what this industry, this automation industry, has been familiar with for the last 7 or 8 years. This is where we're talking more core robotic process automation, or RPA. I think the message here is robots aren't going away. They do a really good job of handling a lot of tedious, rules-based, mundane type work, low-hanging fruit, as you might say. But that doesn't mean it's not impactful. The work that these bots can do is very impactful. It can take a lot of burden off administrative personnel and staff. We add agents and AI, and it really opens up the opportunity for what can be automated. So automation potential, things that we may have said no to even just a year ago, we can look at for automation to take additional work off the staff's plate by leveraging these agents, orchestrated across robots and agents. And agents are going to be more focused. They're goals based. They act independently or autonomously. They can make dynamic decisions, and they can do a whole lot more that I'll tap into here on the next slide. This is a real thing. A lot of this is in production today. It's no longer just a conversation or a vision. This stuff is in action as we see it today. So it's pretty exciting. Piggybacking off that last slide, the way that the solutions are orchestrated. Again, the robots aren't going away. I think it's important to note the people aren't going away either. So we're really leveraging all three for a very cohesive, well-orchestrated, and efficient process. Agents, they do the thinking, they do decision-making, they do a lot of things core RPA couldn't do just a year ago or so. And then you also have robots that are still going to be doing what they do in terms of rules-based, structured type work. And then people are still there to lead. I know Jonathan has a pretty good way that he likes to approach a slide like this. So Jonathan, do you want to add anything here?
No, I think, yeah, just the main thing to reiterate, I understand that when automation, that word is kind of being thrown around or heard, the first worry that comes to mind is job replacement, this and that. But it's even as part of my introductions, I like to reiterate that people aren't going away. We still need people around. And just like as you see here, agents are doing the thinking, automation or the AI is handling the thinking components. Robots are doing the task-based kind of job, so they do, but people lead. So we're not just letting this type of technology just run loose within an organization. We still need someone there to provide inputs to help making finalized decisions. So we still need the people to lead and be involved so that it is, again, a well orchestrated process.
I think the next few slides will really highlight a lot of that. So I'm going to click through here, and I'm going to pass it off to Jonathan. He can walk us through this visual. I think it's really impactful. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, so with here, we're just trying to just showcase the evolution of how the prior auth workflow can become with automation and even AI. So at the very top row there, you see this is just kind of how we've laid out the prior auth workflow. As you see here, the only icon that's present is a person. So this could be just, it's representing a fully manual workflow here, beginning to end. Now, an organization that might incorporate RPA or bot technology, that would kind of be like the row in the middle there. So bots, again, are great for that repetitive workflow, those repetitive tasks. So as you can see, we can inject bots into certain portions or tasks of the process, but it still needs to have some human really to take care and control some of the process. As you see towards the middle, really the identification and pre-auth requirements, as well as clinical documentation collection. That would be very difficult or a very heavy task to put on a bot. It would take so much time in development because every specific scenario would have to be developed out uniquely. But if you look at the very bottom here, when incorporating AI or agents, you can now have the agent receive the information that was collected from insurance verification, and then from there be able to determine next steps and help make those decisions. So although we still have a person next to the AI icon, the person at that point is just doing more of a verification. They're doing their leading portion of the work, really. So just kind of confirming the decision or the thought, the next action that the AI made, or doing any kind of corrective actions. So now what we're seeing here would be a fully automated workflow of the prior auth process. Again, incorporating AI, bots, and people. Can we go to the next slide, please? All right. So although I just showed the one AI icon in that last slide, we're kind of proposing almost 4 agents, so 4 different AI specific agents that can be developed or created along the way to fully be embedded within the pre-auth process. We can have one within the patient intake and coverage verification. This one can kind of assist with either some of the scheduling needs, assist with some of the collection of data there. So although the bot can take action, the agent can really act upon the information that's being collected, help determine and take next steps, or guide the bots for the next step. We can have another one for authorization requests and documentation. So once any initial insurance information has been collected or obtained, the AI can determine whether the procedure being scheduled does require a prior auth, and if so, the type of documentation that needs to be collected. Once it determines that, or a human validates it, it can engage the bots to go ahead and now navigate exactly to where it needs to go to collect that specific information. We have another for authorization, decision, and management. And then lastly, one for post-service review and reconciliation. So Nat and I, we're going to go ahead and tag team and dive and do a deeper dive into these 4 agents that we're talking about. So if we go to the next slide, I'll talk about the first one. Okay, so for patient intake and coverage verification, these are the 3 steps that we've kind of identified that this one agent would be overseeing. So it'll assist with your patient scheduling and registration. So yes, at times I do know there are technology or software out there that can kind of help do some sort of patient scheduling, automated scheduling. But depending on the robustability of it, or its ability to handle certain scenarios, it might still only go so far. With an agent, let's say for a reschedule, we can have it now actually perform a query on your EHR or your software, kind of help determine next available slots for a patient that's doing some sort of like automated scheduling scenario there. So just by including an AI agent in these steps here, it can help take feedback or information that's being provided from a patient, or take information that's being provided by one of your users, help make a decision to quickly determine the next step or solve a situation at hand. For insurance verification, so once all that the demographic information, insurance information has been collected in the previous step, the AI agent can now just determine or even assist with the collection of the insurance verification. At this point, you might even have software in place today, but that software, although it is embedded within your EHR, the data still lives within its own section there. It might not be fully present in fields or areas that you need it to be in. So the agent can actually go out to that section, pull back all the insurance verification and eligibility data, and then from there help determine if the procedure that's being scheduled for, if it requires a prior auth. It can really make that or assist with the decision making on what's needed, if it is needed, and then either engage bots to go ahead and obtain that, or just present that information to your staff to just kind of help quickly make those next determinations. So once that's done, it'll then go ahead and go into the identification of pre-auth requirements. So with all the information that's been previously collected, like I said, the agent can guide the bot on exactly to know what kind of documentation is needed to really support the prior auth request that will take place. So although bots, again, are injected or part of this process, the agent is really helping to just do more with the information that has been collected in real time. It'll process it. It'll give an output that'll be able to, that either automation or a person can take next steps with. Next slide, please. Now for the authorization request and documentation. like I said previously, we're going to have all that clinical documentation collected. So the agent can kind of help prepare that packet, just help make sure any kind of summarization of text is there. So this is really just making sure that all that's been collected is truly validated and vetted. The agent can act like maybe like someone just giving all that information a once over. It can still maybe create a summary just so that your team members can just understand what was together. And then at that point, say, yes, I approve, so that it is submitted. Or if not, they can give feedback or just either manually bring in any additional information that's needed to support this prior auth. So once the green light's been given, then we can go ahead and get automation to actually go out to a portal to submit that prior auth. We have had automations interact with some of these largely known portals like Ability and all, so we can go ahead and navigate those fields. We can upload files or documentation as needed and provide that submission. So those are just two agents that I've went over and how they can be embedded within this process. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Nat to take us over to the next two.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. So now that the authorization request has been submitted, the attention then turns to managing payer responses with speed and precision to keep patient care on track. First, an AI agent continuously monitors incoming communications from each payer portal and inbox. As soon as an approval, denial, or request for additional information arrives, it is then flagged and categorized by the AI agent. So when a request for more detail appears, such as missing clinical notes or diagnostic reports, the agent will invoke automation to gather and provide the information requested. These real-time responses can reduce follow-up time from days to mere hours, ensuring that authorizations are not delayed by requests for additional information going unnoticed. At the same time, the automation executes regular rule-based follow-ups on any unresolved cases. So if no response is received within the defined window according to the case priority, the AI agent sends a status inquiry, logging every follow-up message that it generates. This proactive approach prevents requests from slipping into an in limbo state and dramatically reduces overall turnaround time. So once a decision is rendered, the patient's electronic medical record will be updated automatically, whether the authorization was approved, partially approved, or denied. Finalized authorization decisions will then be dispatched to the appropriate care coordinators, nurses, or physicians. Approved services are immediately cleared for appointment coordination, while denied requests are accompanied by detailed instructions for initiating the next level of review. This ensures that clinical teams and appeals specialists can instantly review the reasons behind a denial and determine the next steps, whether that involves gathering additional documentation or initiating an appeal. Now let's take a look at the next slide, where we'll have a closer look at post-service review and reconciliation. So with payer decisions captured and communicated, the focus then shifts to closing the loop between what was authorized, what was delivered, and what gets billed, all while keeping the patients fully informed. So following the receipt of the authorization decision, the patient notification workflow activates automatically. Patients will receive a message, whether that be an email, an SMS, or via their secure portal, to confirm the outcome of their authorization. If the full scope of services was approved, the notification will outline the next steps, which might include appointment confirmations, copay details, or preparatory instructions for the procedure. Now, if a partial approval or denial occurs, the message to the patient will explain the impact, offer appeal guidance or alternative coverage options, and provide direct contact information for care coordination support. So when scheduling adjustments are needed, available appointment slots are communicated to the patient, which enables appointments to be easily scheduled or rescheduled when needed. Meanwhile, the reconciliation agent cross-checks each billed line item against the exact service codes and units that were pre-authorized. Any discrepancy, whether that be an unapproved CPT code, an overage in units, or a mismatch in service dates, will be flagged immediately. These exceptions are then routed to a dedicated reconciliation queue where an AI agent acting as a claims analyst or appeals specialist can evaluate the case, trigger workflows to correct billing entries, or initiate an appeal before the claim posts. So throughout the process, every action is logged for audit readiness. We'll be tracking who made each change, why it was made, and when. And this brings us to the end of the agentic automation workflow for pre-authorization. From intake and coverage verification to the post-service review and reconciliation, this agentic solution helps ensure that each step is fast, accurate, and fully transparent. And with that being said, I will hand things back to Cletus.
Awesome. Great overview, guys. As mentioned, this is a real challenge. We found ways to solution it, leveraging these great technologies. There's going to be a lot of questions, of course. We're happy to have conversations with you guys, really dial into different areas that you might be struggling more with or different things that you might be working through. Here's a slide, just a little bit about Accelirate, our experience, why customers are more and more tapping into our expertise and our know-how around this technology align very well with the industry. I won't spend too much time here, but of course, deep industry expertise. We have Nathaniel here and Jonathan and a much larger team behind us, supporting us, that all of our customers get to work with. And again, we've been doing this for 8-9 years. The core of our organization is automation, and we're consistently staying ahead of the emerging technologies coming out, this being one of them. And again, it's very much a real thing today that we've been able to hone in on for our customers and do a lot of educating for folks out there that are just getting started perhaps on their automation journey or looking to expand and do more with what automation capabilities are out there, including AI and agents. End-to-end support, box number 4 there. So early on, we set out, we wanted to be the experts across the entire automation lifecycle, from idea to solutioning to implementation, all the way to support and even testing. So we have dedicated practices around all these areas, from discovery to help organizations find those prime automation or agent opportunities that are out there, evaluate them, give real feedback on what those are. Of course, implementation is what we do. And then on the other side of that, some customers will leverage us for support services to support automations, the running automations, their agents, things of that nature. And we also have a dedicated test practice through our test automation center. So we've been fortunate to really address each area of the automation lifecycle and provide a lot of value for our customers. And we'll be happy to dial into or double click on these in separate conversations, just being cognizant of time here. You kind of just heard a lot about it, the impact of AI-powered solutions. We're looking for opportunities where we can identify and execute on fully autonomous workflows. Our goal, and living up to our name, Accelerate, is time to value. So we really hone in on the ability to deliver value quickly. We set some pretty aggressive targets, and we've been very successful in delivering those for our customers while keeping ROI and cost hurdles low, so that ROI is high and you realize it early. We also want to be able to reduce cycle time as much as possible to get these processes and these process life cycles as quick as possible. And we want to, of course, return as many hours back to the organization as we can to free up people as much as possible. It's rare that I talk to a manager in any department that has maybe a team of 10 that doesn't need a team of 20. And automation is a great way to get a really high impact on additional capacity of existing teams. Last slide here, a little bit of a call to action. We're happy to have additional conversations with anybody that's interested. You can see our website below. My email address is below as well. Definitely reach out if you would like to have an additional conversation. We can even take a look at existing processes and what that opportunity might look like by leveraging bots and agents and really walk you through what that might look like in your environment for your specific process. The other call to action I would say is definitely follow us on LinkedIn through Accelirate and our healthcare focused division called Accelhealth. So you can expect some follow-up from us, requesting you guys to follow us. We're consistently putting out really good educational content on those two channels. So it would be great if you could follow us, and we'll certainly keep in touch. Any questions that you guys have, we'll certainly address here in the chat or over email. And again, we're happy to have an in-depth conversation. I'll loop the experts like these guys in, and we can help you address what some of those automation initiatives might be for you guys. Appreciate everybody hopping on, and appreciate you, Nat and Jonathan, for sharing your expertise here.
Sure thing. It's been great, and I'm excited for the work we're doing here.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.